but I can go online and I can see like the different edges and different lines. Somebody offers over 52, somebody offers over 51 and a half. I can say, well, the 52 is better because it's minus 110
And who was on
compared
the
to,
front end of developing this?
it was Rufus. So Rufus Peabody did the intellectual property for it.
And then
And he's one of the best bettors.
Captain Jack.
And Captain Jack is also a great sports bettor. And he's like an encyclopedia of knowledge on how things work behind the scenes. And he's really good at walking you through the tools. Like you can put in information for season win probabilities of teams. And so they have this, God, I'm so bad at this.
Let me try and help a little bit. Like
I know what it does. Like you put in the power rankings and then it'll spit out like what the teams are, how many games they're supposed to win that season. And it changes week by week. Right.
mm-hmm.
And so they have this tool that will change the odds week by week for the teams. But then you have sports books who have stale lines because they put up, the price at the beginning of the season and they don't really change it. So they have a tool where you can just input this data that they provide, like they provide the power rankings, and then you get the updated information and you just find the stale line and then you bet it. So there's that too.
Yeah, I think this, from what I've seen of it, I spent like, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours looking at it. Yeah. It makes complete sense to me that Rufus is the one behind it. Just right. From, like, I saw him at MIT. I went to the sports analytics conference in 2012, and he's easily like, I mean, I don't know how many people really, in terms of like true line generators there are that exist. Rufus is in the top 5 or top 10 that I know of. Yeah. And it's a comprehensive tool that helps like anybody that bets on sports do so to like keep a long-term advantage and do so in like a clean, objective, logical way. It's not when people come up to me and they're like, oh, you used to work in sports, like in this industry, sports betting. They're like, oh, I like sports. I want to get into it. I'm on DraftKings or whatever. And they start talking to me and it's all of the basic mistakes that I've been hearing about for 15 years.
Right. And Unabated brings you a little bit, the books are here, new sports bettors here, and it brings it a little bit closer. Like the battle between the two, it just lessens the disadvantage that you have. It's sort of like blackjack. If you, sorry, sort of like blackjack, where if you have a basic strategy, basic strategy, your edge is going to be, the house is going to have less of a house edge. Mm-hmm. Rather than the guy that stands on 15 versus 10 because he has a feeling. So it brings the two a little bit closer together.
I mean, you could be a winning player if you use those tools from what I saw.
Yeah.
You might get backed off, but
you might get limited. And then it's like the art of getting more outs, or even the art of like using cover on a sport. Like if you're betting single game parlays or something like that, but you're also betting sharp information, you might last a little longer. You kind of have to, and this is where networking comes in, like learn what the book can tolerate, mm-hmm. and then stay under that for as long as you can. And then there's also like, you just want to fire away and get in what you can and then lose the book and find another out. So, and part of the reason that I said I'd collaborate with Unabated is because I know I'm going to have to deep dive like all the tools and I'm going to have to learn, and it's going to make me money that way. Like I have a deal with them, but also I'm going to, sweat Rufus or sweat Captain Jack, and I'm going to learn more, which is a huge part of why I'm collaborating with them. And I had sort of, I was self-conscious about, like, I never want to promote a casino ever, because mm-hmm. people lose, and most sports bettors are going to lose. Like I'm not promoting you learn how to bet. You're going to lose probably. But if you want to like geek out on the intricacies or like how to win betting or just get better at the basic strategy, let's call it, you should use Unabated. But anyway, so I was self-conscious about anyone calling me a tout or promoting sports betting. And so I took a poll on Twitter, like, do you think being a winning sports bettor is closer to poker or closer to like slot machines? Like which one? And like 75% of people, it was like 1,600 people, took the poll, thought sports betting was closer to poker. It was like a skill game, which is how I look at it. So I felt a little bit better about signing on with Unabated and saying I'd promote Unabated.
It's a great tool, and you can make money through ARBs on that tool. Like for anybody who doesn't want to bet on sports but wants to scrape data, like it's a great tool that, because there's different like types of sports bettors. There are people that are going out that are like betting specific games and sides and things like that. And then there are people that are shopping lines. And if you're just looking to shop lines and get price discrepancies, you can make money with that tool. And it's very like, it's probably the most organized functional tool that I've seen.
For sure. I don't even think they have competition. I don't even know who to say is a competitor Unabated. You have other odds screens?
Yeah, Chad Millman's thing.
What is that?
I don't know the name off of the top of my head, but they've had something similar, but not with like the calculators, the derivative calculators. Like there's stuff that if you're a live in-game player, you could do serious damage with those tools.
Right. And arbing is great. I'm not knocking arbing at all, but it doesn't take a lot of skill.
Hey, if you like that video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and follow our page for new weekly content.